I think we praised a lot of the Korean coaches for being able to, pick good players a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I feel like Ewok has been just making these little adjustments to the roster every single stage, and the fruits of his labor are definitely coming to fruition here. I feel like it's almost complete. It's almost there. We can't say it's complete until they're holding that trophy in their hand, but I think they're pretty darn close, which is why I was really excited to see this first match today. And of course, the two coaches there, like having so much respect for each other. Now, we were talking about Thai and Killua. Killua is adorable, by the way. We got to see him on the stage. He was so shy. You get to see, even though he's a freaking beast in the server, he's still so green to stage performances here. And they were both not performing at their 100%, they were saying they were so nervous, they were shaking. Can you imagine your hand is shaking in an attack FPS and you're still shooting like that?
I mean, it makes sense to be nervous, right? Like we say, that the lights are bright here, the crowd are loud. It's an entirely different experience of playing Valorant from your bedroom, which is where a lot of these young players come from. So it is an adjustment, and if that wasn't there 100%, then that just means they have more to give, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I thought it was an excellent debut. Killua in particular is quite flexible role-wise. Thai has even less experience than that, but he did have a pretty good game for himself as well. In that controller role, he can kind of settle into being a little bit more of a stable force in the team, I'd imagine, coming in for Talon here. So I think great pickups, great additions, and I'm just happy that this is a full Thai roster now.
Now, we were talking about Cushy just now and how he's just so talented, and so is Killua. And now I'm so excited to see these two facing off today.
Yeah, I mean, these, in my mind, are the two standout players on these teams. Both playing Initiator,
ยำๆช้างน้อยใกล้หมดแล้ว
both in their rookie year. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between these two players across these two teams, and you know, these are the ones to keep an eye on today, as far as I'm concerned.
I think Cushy, like in the info unit role in particular, has to undergo a little bit of exploration in terms of his agent pool. Sova is getting phased out in the meta more and more now that there's more options.
ไม่รู้ใครชอบหรือเปล่า
So
แต่ผม
you've
ชอบ
already seen
ยำๆช้างน้อย
Cushy
แบบ
playing KO
ห่อ
or
สีเขียว
Pearl
มาก
and
สุด
things like that. He's going to have to really be a little bit more dynamic in terms of his agent pool, because we know that he looks really comfy on the Sova, and Killua, as we've already seen and has been mentioned by the coaches before in the interview, can flex into that secondary duelist, which gives Talon a little bit of an edge that a lot of teams
ห่อ
are
สี
bringing
เขียวอะไรสุด
from
ครับ
a
ไม่รู้
DRX
แต่ละ
is
ผม
T1's kind of go-to to play that double duelist and have some real big heavy hitters in the server.
Speaking of comps, we did see the map draft earlier, and we saw a lot of things said and unsaid between the two coaches, but one thing for sure, they're both eyeing each other about Ascent, and they're both feeling pretty damn confident about their Ascent. Do you guys have any thoughts on, like, you know, how this might go? Especially based on how they were reacting.
Like, it's always funny after these map drafts, because in general, you almost always think you won the map draft.
Yeah.
Right? There's very, very few times where you come out of a map draft
ไม่
and
เป็น
go,
ไร
oh,
พลาด
no, they've absolutely something has to go really wrong for that to happen. So I think both the coaches feel confident in their own picks. I think map 3 of Haven is an interesting decider after all is said and done. But yeah, I think both these coaches feel confident, which is a good sign, you know, but they were always going to
เฮ้ย
display
ปกติ
confidence
วิ
when
ธี
they're
ทาน
sat
นี่
here
คือ
on this
เอาไป
couch
ต้ม
being
น้ำเหรอ
interviewed.
ยำๆช้างน้อยอะ
I've
นะ
come out of map drafts in the past and thought, I've won this map draft and then got 13-3, 13-3, to be honest. So, like, you know, you
ไม่
never
เคย
know
ต้ม
what
เลย
you're going to expect. I think compositionally it was
เคยมี
super
ใครต้ม
interesting
ยำๆ
to
ช้าง
hear
น้อย
from
ปะ
the coaches, how their assistant coaches do kind of pitch in and give them some more ideas. But particularly, I mean, Lotus is a map that I feel like neither one of these teams has shown great results on or a great record on. So it's interesting to see Talon go ahead and pick that. I think for Ascent, there's a question mark factor there, but for RRQ, you cannot go against what they just did to Nongshim. That was brutal to watch. Like, they did
หนังโซม
my
แม่งเกลียดให้ต้ม
boy Jambi so wrong.
All right, let's pull up her predictions then. Because even the coaches both feeling really confident, and I think they're both very warranted in their confidence there. And we're
A lot of Talon
split.
fans, a lot of Talon believers.
We're split on this. Slightly more on the talent side, and I think this might be because of the IGL change. But Pilski, why'd you go for RRQ?
Here's the thing, Vic, okay? Most people quit right before they're about to win big, okay? I know what RRQ did last week does not leave a lot to be inspiring. Especially that attack side of Split and how that third map went. But this is the time, okay? This is the day. No more choke. This is a guaranteed dub. You got the Pilski guarantee, okay?
Okay.
I mean, for me...
Wait, did you pick RRQ? I can't remember.
No, I went with Talon. I went with Talon because I can only predict RRQ for so long based on their potential when they keep losing.
That's what I was saying.
They can't close the games.
The doubters.
I can't pick them.
Use a doubter.
Okay,
I am.
I was specifically messaged by RRQ and they're like, stop picking us, you're cursed. But I also believe in Talon, so who knows? We're gonna send it down to the stage to welcome Talon and RRQ.
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
2025 VCT Pacific
มาแล้ว
Stage 1. Rise Pacific. Talon.
Another beautiful day here in VCT Pacific, and we're welcoming Talon Esports now with a full Thai roster. They have already started to turn
Yeah.
heads. Yes, their rookies were nervous on debut, but that didn't stop them at all from showcasing raw talent and insane potential. And if they are that dangerous when nervous, imagine what they'll do once they settle in.
Yeah, unshackled from a lot of the burdens of international communication, people from different countries. Hopefully this unlocks Talon's potential. And if so, that means better than 4th place.
Oh, for
ได้
sure.
ยิ้มแย้มแต่ไม่
I
ค่อย
hope
เครียด
so anyway. And we
ตรงดี
are going to be facing RRQ, who has also come in as a team that has been steadily grinding, quietly building synergy, but now they face a new chapter. They have a shift in their IGL role, and that has potential to change everything from how they call to how they clutch. And momentum can be pretty fragile, guys, in Pacific especially. And today, that is going to be tested.
Yeah, it was a tough week 1 for RRQ, losing to Nongshim, but of course Crazy Guy was entering as the IGL. That was his first time with the team. They've now had more time to string this together, so expect stronger performances from them. RRQ have always been that bubble team, so close but so far. They need to get some momentum now to start a run towards playoffs.
Would you say these two teams are evenly matched?
I think so. I think RRQ, and the reason why I
มีแต่
go
คน
for
ดู
them,
ที่
I
เครียด
feel that they're the known quantity here. Yes, they have issues with closing games. They go missing from time to time, but they have the established chemistry. There you go. A hug.
Oh, double arm hug.
A hug after that. Look, they
That
got
was
to know
real
each other.
love.
They got to know each other better a little earlier, and now it's all love down there on the stage. You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, I just back RRQ. I know what I'm going to get for them. For a map and a half, I was incredibly impressed. I just memory hold everything that happened after split defense. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, I think RRQ's level is crazy high when they're on their game, right? But the big problem with this team is they're not closing the games. It's been a problem for such a long time. And that's the biggest reason I can't predict them today, because I don't trust them to be able to close it out when they're ahead. Where I think Talon don't have as big of an issue. You know, we see them finish top 4.
What about Pearl though?
ต้องหาขนมกิน
They're such a fresh team. They're so up and down.
ไม่งั้นแบบ
There's so much that could go wrong.
Sure, but they have been more consistent than RRQ.
Oh, Morgan speaking of from a man with
ไม่
a
งั้น
broken heart
มัน
here.
ดูไม่มันนะครับ
I love RRQ. I've been predicting them for so long, but where are the wins, guys? Come on, help me.
It was a coach should do and how
กระตุก
important it
ป่ะ
is
นะ
to actually share
รอ
that load.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No,
so
no.
nice
May
when
na.
you're working with other coaches. You can just get a lot more ideas. But now the map
ผ
draft,
มยังไม่เห็น
we
ส
saw
กิน
how
เฟรมเลยนะ
Talon, you know, they have multiple comps prepared. So a little bit of a different look for them today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at
ลองถาม
RRQ,
ทางดาว
they're
ทางดาวครับ
playing the Viper. I think the
ร้าน
Yoru's
กระตุ
going
ก
to
เหรอ
play great in towards that Vice, going to really help them kind of crack into some of these sites. And they've swapped Monya and Xfero back onto the Viper and the Omen like they were playing before, so they haven't committed to that role swap from last time.
Yeah, we see Talon with a very similar style to RRQ with this breach tail, but no Viper instead. So now you kind of the way you control A has to change, but they are sticking with the Vice that has been so popular. RRQ have to figure that out towards C because they don't have that
เอาละ
traditional sentinel to hold the site.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. This particular match today is probably my most highly anticipated match
It's a big one.
of this stage one. I'm really excited about this. Both teams have so much.
ตอนนี้หายแล้วเนาะ
We're going to send it to our casters. We've got Paper Thin and Achilles.
Thank you very much. My most anticipated series of the stage
กระตุกแค่โมเดลหรือเปล่า
series that
ผม
I
หันไปทำนู่นทำนี่เยอะ
Yeah,
I love all of my children and matches
that
equally.
is the most false thing you have ever said.
That's very true. But I am excited for this. We have a banger day lined up. Looks like we could be in for a very long one. So get strapped in, ladies and gentlemen. You make sure you got your drinks, have your snacks. You're in a good, cozy spot. You got your water. You're staying hydrated, and you're sitting upright. You're watching your posture, and you're watching these games. Talon versus RRQ. It's going to be a huge SEA showdown here today.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I mean, obviously, you kind of expect this to be a long, grueling series. These teams making some changes here and there so far this year. Both have their moments where they look really good. They have their moments where they kind of look like they're still a work in progress. But, you know, like, I kind of agree with the desk. Talon has kind of the pedigree behind them into what you would normally expect with where their results have been. If you go back to last year, bring in a couple new players, and this year they're still kind of hovering around
แต่ที่เนี่ย
that
ประเทศไทย
fourth place mark. RRQ
ของผมเห็น
is
บิตเลท
constantly
ปกติ
coming
นะ
up short. Can
ไม่รู้
they
ฮะ
be the difference for them? Can they turn it around with this new IGL and bring us a win on Lotus, which they haven't had in quite some time? RRQ has been struggling on Lotus. They haven't won it 8 or 9 attempts in a row. So this is really important for them to come off on the right foot, starting on the defender side where they are really looking good this year. I will say, this is one thing about RRQ. They are one of our best defending teams we have in the league. Let's see if they can shore it up against Talon.
ผ่านแม่เพิ่งเริ่ม
Fault line going across, trying to stop this approach from B. Snake fight as well, going to be committed there from the side of RQ. So Talon just slowly drifting back, getting clustered up. Eye set now on the C site.
Look at all these eyes towards B. I mean, they were so far pushed up towards A with Jemkin. They were pretty well aware that this, at least at the moment, wasn't going to be there. But now the drone goes out through B mid, so they have to be thinking this is going to be C here pretty quick. Are they thinking about maybe a doors crunch or something
เห็น
like
มินิออน
that?
ว่ะ
Still, a lot of patience being shown by Talon.
Yeah, things getting slowed up as that stealth drone wasn't able to spot out much of anything. Monya able to go ahead and get the destruction.
อร่อยไหมนี่คือเอาอยู่อร่อย
Now just waiting for that util to cycle back up. Salvos as well. The fault line going to be set. Monya
มาม่าแห้งครับ
back
ไม่อร่อย
over
แน่
the site opened up. Talon in control. Go for the plant. It's going to be a 5v5 for the retake. But look at this lurk. Jit Boys still wandering forward, working his way upstairs over that A side of the map. Kahlua, however, able to find first kill. Is Sparrow going to be taken down? Crazy guy takes off the premium. The defuse getting started. About to be held to half. Aftershock to Foresight out of the corner. Sends to the Paranoia. Does not connect. And that's just going to be the defuse getting stuck the whole way throughout. Kahlua nearly coming away with an ace at the end of it all. Good for building up towards that Rolling Thunder, but not good for closing out the round.
That's really interesting. Talon, I thought, had a really nice setup here, but a couple good salvos from Cruz really just breaks that open for them, gives them access to the site, and they're able to take Primi down, the only player who's anywhere near the site itself. Because he got pushed into that back corner, they were able to isolate and identify him. It's a nice pickoff there. They're doing a good job of kind of understanding their crossfires, but it's good work by RRQ, really selling, putting some pressure out at the front of Mound to make sure that they're able to give their diffuser the time that they need.
All in all, a bit of a bizarre one, but one that Talon's looking to shrug off. Xpero going to be forced away as once again, C-Site going to be taken. Bulldog in hand. Crazy guy able to find one. Going to be struck down. This Jit Boys answers back a kill. Just jiggling on the corner here. Smattering of damage going to be found, but it's a recycle on this one. They should know that Yatai had disconnected split over towards Mound, so they don't want to try pushing out into the open sightlines of that Stinger.
They got to be real careful. Saw this work really well for Paper Rex yesterday where they were able to get the conversion on the force up. A little bit of a spot. Hanoi doesn't really connect.
Counting on the angle, headshot found, but Crazy Guy answer back, just a bit more damage there with that Bulldog in hand. Push onto the corner, Manyet, similar story, falling low but not getting taken down. RRQ lose out on a couple players here, but weapons can be recovered. Think that there's one over at the door they would like to grab, but I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time. Either way, the defuse is in, and they're up 2-0.
Yeah, they're looking really good on these C retakes. They look really well drilled. And as you would expect, with a bit of a comp change-up coming into Lotus, you got to feel like you're looking pretty clean with that Tejo util. Kind of buy you that a little bit of extra space and time that you need to get these retakes to go. So far, 2 retakes in a row that work on the C site. And Crazy Guy getting vocal. You know, had a really good debut on their opening map of Ascent last week, and after that, things started to crumble a bit, mostly on the attacker side of things. So again, stingers in hand for Talon.
Yep.
And they're just maybe going to double down, and X-Arrow's ready.
Yeah, this time not going to be forced off the angle by util, so is able to get the shot across. Or picked up, Primi looking to close that distance, looking to try to slide in, but back behind covers that smoke. Does obfuscate. Sparrow gets out to safety.
วางได้
Tiny ticklings of damage, all that he suffered thus far. As just the one going to be spotted here, but cuss into the corner. Jit going to be caught blinded up as well. Primi comes away with 1, but Monyet finding 2. Leaves Kaluan out all alone. Death, the kill, etc. Rolling Thunder going to be online no matter what here for the breach, but we'll find it in Death is RRQ getting themselves a very solid 3-0 start.
Yeah, again, good
ฮารอน
retakes.
แพ้แบบแรกไม่แปลกครับ
Just looking really clean. I mean, the patience here early from the Tejo, from Cushy, to make sure that they're going to clear that corner. You know, Talon's pushed way far up, and a little bit of a jiggle with the drone as well. Got the reveal on the gunfire positioning of Talon. Nice opener for X-Pharaoh. Great patience. Like every time, whoever's been here on C, whether it's been Monyet or X-Pharaoh, they've been quick to get out. If it's a fast hit from Talon, they're just giving up the space and they're immediately playing for retake. So I really like the discipline that we're seeing from RRQ in that regard. Too many teams I see just the Sentinels or the controllers that are playing on C just sit there and try to fight it out. And that's often not the
โน
right
บัตตี้
decision.
เองมา
Well, we'll get into our first rifle round of the map.
เหงาว่าต้องมีอะไรเข้าปาก
Well, I was going to say full armor on everyone, but Tai on that peek out does eat a shot from the Outlaw, and he's down to 10 health now.
There.
So X-Pharaoh still showing off some very nice accuracy.
Yeah, they're looking sharp today. I mean, you know, this is a real test for RRQ. How do you bounce back after that devastating loss last week? You know, if you can shake it off, get a win. Oh, that's a great kill for Jit.
Does manage to find
Yang
one.
hit you.
He's there for the swing in, gets the trade onto Cushy. Still some decent damage dealt. Once again, C is going to be the target at the end of the day. Talon, can they get it done this time around? Salvos available for them as they scale forward, just ensuring that the rest of this site is opened up. X-Pharaoh playing a narrow margin. Shot's not going to connect though. Cruz off to the right-hand side. Able to avoid that damage.
Like that we're spreading the map.
เขาใช้ไม่กลัวกันสุด
Still
หมด
that
เลย
rolling
เอาหรอ
thunder to consider.
He's online. The slow creep up, jump kit just around the corner. Fake out. Catching the shot there, allowing him to swing over towards the back of sight. Bolt line going to be sent in. Monyet trying to desperately just tuck in behind this pillar. Is able to do so. Is now Cuz going to be lobbed in as well. Going to be taking down X-Pharaoh. Monyet going to fall all down the jump
สวย
kit. Cannot find anything
โคตร
else.
สวยอ่ะ
Pretty damn clean. Narrow margins. 2 players down to 10 health. But in the end, Talon do get themselves on the board. They managed to keep 4 players alive.
Yeah, and this time Primi playing his life really nicely on site. Obviously a good opener with the trades here for Talon. Able to stack that up, get the better of that exchange. Great covering fire. I mean, the protocol
โคตรคม
well practiced in these post plants for Talon. It's just the retakes have been even better from RRQ. And you were able to save that Rolling Thunder, which is really nice here for Talon. I mean, you could see that they wanted to challenge RRQ. Don't let them get any extra kills. Push towards that spike and force that ultimate out. Nicely done there by the Talon boys. Odin's out. Spray comes through.
Sliding forward, Jim finding one, TPing out the safety. Crazy Guy just going to look for a reposition. Rolling Thunder still not going to get committed here as Kahlua is on the floor. Cushy here. Armageddon at the ready. As, okay, they want to try to go for a crunch outside of A main. Primi at the same time, tucked away, able to find one. Look at the
สวยแล้วสวย
second.
แล้ว
Chemkin will turn back and find it. So all goes out. RRQ finding that kill, trading it back, maybe still scratching their heads, but are in an advantageous position. 4-2, the numbers. The stealth drone up close, cannot recover fast enough. Jit Boys, quick to strike, finding one, and maybe if you'd been able to find Jemkin, you start believing in the comeback here in the round. Instead, it is all down to Cruz, the IGL, to see if he can make anything happen. Salvos for the post plant will be one away from having an Armageddon of his own. Would have to be a 1v3 clutch.
Regardless for Cruz, get the plant down. Even if you die, you've got that Armageddon coming in the next round. But yeah, I mean, what a moment it would be for the IGL.
Spike planted.
See if he can hold this down.
He has done it in the past. See if he can start right here. I think he maybe caught a glimpse here. Xfero
เห็นแล้ว
on the angle. Pretty
แต่พลาด
wisely. And is able to stave him off. So Diffuse can come in. RRQ maintaining and stretching the lead.
เปิด
Now
ครึ่งมา
4-1.
ไม่ค่อยสวย
Yeah, this is just them winning a small skirmish outside of Rubble initially, just with a spray through, I think, of the smokes by Jemkin. I mean, Primmy's able to sneak through undetected.
เซ็นซื้อสร้อยบาเบลหรือยัง จะไปซื้อทันได้ไงครับ
Right as he was blooming, he caught a vision of it. Yep. Nice little peek there from Cushy with that Bulldog. That was a huge win for Jemkin. 3 kills in the round for him. Definitely need him to come online and stay online for RRQ. You know, there's some maps where sometimes he doesn't look as comfortable on the Yoru, but now he's got 3 kills in that round, got himself up to an even score
สวัส
line.
ดีครับเซนสวัสดีครับ
Round row. Oh god.
Now he's
โอ้โห
now
โดน
quite far forward. Obviously, we'll have that gate crash set up. That quick exit, but it's able to find one. Primmy just got to be struck down. The rocky start here for the side of Talon. Given that this is their map pick and they're starting on the attacking side, should be looking for a much more dominant half than this. We'll see if they can still turn the tides around here in this round. As Xfero will get caught on the ropes, so solid way to bring this back to parity. A 4v4, multiple ultimates online here for the side of Talon. This should be unassailable.
You'd think so.
Post plant here. RQ though. Scouting things out, dimensional drift in play. Jemkin just trying to spot out these players, sends up the flash around the corner. Jitboy's going to be taken down, does send the Seal Garden all the same, so Primary is going to be jammed up. Monyet trying to arrive in from behind, but it's noted, and Cruz is there to find the kill. Crazy guy pushing forward, finding Die. He's managed to strike him down. One less player to deal with is Rolling Thunder, now going to go across. Shot found, Kahlua looking for a little bit more aftershock. Trying to flush Crazy guy out of the corner. Comes away with the kill, and the Diffuse is just not
โคตรสวยอ่ะ
Jemkin cannot make it happen. It's going to be a Red Bull clutch for Kahlua as Talon will win their second round.
Yeah, this is a great round for
คิรัวโคตรสวย
RRQ was going to turn this on its head. With all those ults in play, you had to feel like Talon should have this in the book pretty much no matter what. But they're able to take a ton of space off the back of Jemkin's ult.
โคตรสวย
Find a nice kill.
แม่งเพอร์เฟกต์เพย์เลย
Really break things open, and then they know they have to get ahead
ต้องยอม
of
อ่ะ
the Rolling Thunder and the Armageddon if they're going to win this round. So they push the pace, they push the space. And they almost win the race, but Killua with a brilliant outplay there, using his utility to perfection. Here we go again.
Overdrive going to be popped Primmy. Ooh, yeah, it does get a good amount of damage in it. Jemkin just going to die. As those salvos land at his feet, Monyet stunned up, dazed in the corner, nothing more to be done, just ends up falling. Cushy similarly going to be taken down as Xfero. The lone Bulldog at 54 health. He knows that they have access to this B site. No, has no idea.
โหฟอร์เรสเลยมั้ย
Flank
นะ
is going to be coming through.
แล้วตาย
Reads it well, but can he win the fight is the question.
ละน้อยก่อนด้วย
Send, connects, tucks back, gets around the corner. And then
โอ้โห
eventually
ยัง
will
แร
fall.
กได้อะ
Flawless round, Talon closing the gap, just one round separating.
สุดยอด
RRQ push back, but now get themselves into another bye.
This has been a really good map already so far. A lot of changes from both
โคตร
teams.
แบก
You're seeing good retake, good protocols from RRQ. Then they're starting to test it with Talon here, turning up the tempo again, using Primmy's ult to catch RRQ a little bit off guard. They're able to find some decent damage through the poison orb of Xfero. Get even a Teho util kill. Cruz has looked really on point with the Teho util. I have to say a lot of those salvos are really either forcing opponents into bad positions or, in that case, even finding the damage. So Talon here, the protocol is looking really, really good. Good covering fire from Jit Boys on that B side as well to find a pick. Really impressed with both squads here. And this is kind of what you were hoping for in this matchup today. Two teams that really have shown a ton of promise. giving it their all and looking really well prepared. Well, just Monyet, keeping him honest.
Gotta be careful. Jitboy's not somebody that I would want to meddle with here.
They're trying to hide Jemkin's position.
Game crash is set up. It's going to be a quick TP check over towards C. Nothing spotted. Snap back there, and Jemkin immediately has to exit. Still does eat a decent amount of damage down to 70 HP now. Monyet quickly repositioning, but actually bogs it. Stays quiet. And does manage to keep himself alive here for the moment.
God, great discipline from Talon.
More taps, and oh, this Armageddon forces Jemkin forward. He's able to dodge it. Crazy guy going to be taken down at the same time. However, is this lurk into B?
อุ้ยโอ้โหแล้วลึก
Jemkin arriving around the back, finding one.
แต่พิมมี่ไม่แพ้1-1อ่ะ
Despite being tagged up, does not get
อ้าวแต่แพ้โอดิน
Just run back, but then Monyet is there for the trade.
20 วิทั
Spike
น
now
วะ
still on the floor. The rest of Talon needing to crunch together,
Ooh, they-
collapse in.
คิลัว
For the spike, Kahlua tagged up the Odin, still wreaking havoc, but they managed to just go ahead, persevere, and plow through. Now the A side is open, and Xpero was all alone.
Man, that was a great exchange for both teams. See if Eric Sparrow can get something done. 1v3, Killua very weak, so has a chance. Not much in the way of util to work
โคตร
with.
โคตรตึงคิลัว
Way out down to 65. Ty on the first angle and is able to find with that kill. We are tied up 4-4. As Talon start running things back. RRQ likely going to be considering a timeout.
ด่านที่บุก
There's
ยากที่สุด
honestly so much
ในตอนเนี้ย
good
ครับ
little
ผม
things going on with both of these teams with their util right now. In the way that they're trading them, you know, they're able to use the Odin to try to hide the Yoru positioning for RRQ. That's red by Talon. They throw a bunch of util at him. He has to TP out. He's in tree, able to dodge the ultimate and the
ทำเอาเลย
goes around the door while it's just about to close, and he's able to catch Talon off guard in the back, but then Primi quick to react on the Neon. Like, all these things, really, really good. I'm very impressed with both teams.
Hot start for RRQ, but starting to get quelled. Talon getting a read, starting to get the hands warmed up a bit.
โค้ชชื่อนิ้วทำไม ฟอสชื่อนิ้วทำไม
As Frost likely able to shrug off some of the early frustrations from the start of this map.
เพิ่งฟังเพลงพี่ตูนมาเปล่า
I'm just looking to reaffirm, direct the squad forward, keep them on this path. RRQ, though, talked about it, their defensive sides, how strong they have been. Things are starting to falter. So Ewok Warbirds looking to try to get them back on the right path here.
Yep, that age-old question, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, seemingly the name of the game for this series. And Talon now starting to move that object back just ever so slightly, and it's going to be a weaker buy for RRQ for the first time. You know, after winning those opening 3 rounds, where Talon decided to force. He had a pretty big advantage, but once the rifles got in hand, Talon was able to start whittling away at it. Primi's even going to grab an outlaw here. And nobody was able to get full armor, of course, on RRQ, so very, very valuable. Instead, there's going to be a stack up from RRQ, going to be identified by that drone.
Just the one player, maybe noted there, perhaps a second either way. Cruz considering going for little
เห็น
shot
แล้ว
out, but doesn't manage to do so. Sheer wall going to be popped, I do believe, outside of main. Cushy just taking a single shot from that Vandal. And down to 86.
ดูดีเกาะกลุ่มกันเลยอ่ะ แล้วพิมมี่ไหลลึกเลยอ่ะ
Primi's been slowly but surely gathering some info, some space. Ooh, what a
อ้าวนั
shot.
จิตบอย
Crazy guy out from stairs.
Wow.
On the peak,
Sweet.
finds Jitboys alongside Rubble, pushed through the smoke.
เฮ้ยโค
Readjustment,
Oh my
and it's
God.
damn clean. Two players take it down. Monyet catching a glimpse, though, is able to find one.
แต่ว่าเห็นพอดี
Cruz eliminated a weapon on the floor,
แบ
potentially
ดทัมมิ่ง แบดทัม
recoverable.
มิ่ง
But for now, RRQ just going to be waiting for this wraparound as Crazy Guy makes his way
30 seconds left.
through that attacker spawn. Interrupt on the plan as the salvos go flying. RRQ buying some more time to try to get this breach in position.
Man. He's got the outlaw, but
The peak timing. Crazy Guy
ทัมมิ่ง
eyes in towards the box, not ready for someone just to go walking back out. Weapon up, picked up, but Onus
โอ้แต่พิมมี่
timing on Monyet to deliver. Stunned up into the corner, gun barrel going to be spotted out. Looks for the reposition.
โอ้โห
Primi knows exactly where he's going. 2 kills found.
มาแล้วครับ
RRQ
มาแล้วครับ
cannot try to run it
สวัส
back.
ดีค่ะ สวัสดีครับ
That is going to be now Talon gaining the lead for the first time here on Lotus.
yeah, decent damage done by RRQ, but I mean, it's really impressive right now the way Talon is able to spread the map. I mean, you're going against weaker weaponry, so kind of expected where you're able to use that Outlaw to gain a bunch of space on A. Cruz is slow pushing through bound the whole time, buying some open room. So really, Talon kind of has their pick of the litter with what site they can go to. They've got good information on where their opponents are likely to be. Good comboing there of the stuns between Killua and Primi.
โอ้ยเดี๋ยวจิมกินให้คมมาดิ
Getting out. But look at this.
ตาย
Pushed.
เอ้าแล้วเขารู้
Flies to it.
Bruh.
Comes away with the kill, shuts down that flank, keeps the op in play. Leaps forward, just trying to get closer to the C site that Talon continue to try to barrel their way
แบบ
into.
ตุ้ย
And now you can tell, scratching their heads a bit, trying to assess, but they know that RRQ just has complete control.
I think they're just
โอ้ไฮโล
trying to figure out what's around them while Util comes back off a cooldown, then try to make their move.
เฮ้ยแฟดไม่โดนอะ
None of this hitting Jemkin keeps him firmly on that line. Bit of damage, well, quite a bit of damage taken there as Cruz does suffer too.
ส่วนตัวผมไม่ชอบตรงนี้ไม่โคตรอึดอัดเลยอะไม่รู้คนอื่นเล่นเป็นว่าผมไม่ชอบโลตัสสปิดนี้เลยอะ
Got the salvos in the fault line.
Forces back one-dimensional drift coming through, but counter stun out. Cruz going to be finished off. Galua going to be taken down. And Sparrow will find the final two. 5-5. RRQ rallying back.
คือโลตัสด่านนี้ฝั่งบุกแม่งโคตรอึดอัดอะไม่รู้อะ
Man,
What
it's
is
a
that,
great
Leo?
round for Jemkin on the operator. Gets the first pick. TP's back, and they're so ready for this. I mean, it's the classic Talon play, right? No matter who's on the Omen, they're going to be trying to get into your back lines on the C side. And it's really well read there by RRQ, understanding their opponents very, very well. And Talon has to pause, has to wait things out to try to make an execute happen, but again, just completely shut down by RRQ with their numbers advantage, their information
วินเลท
advantage.
ผม
They have
0%
crowd
เล
the
ย
whole time
โลตัสสปิด
right
เนี่ย
outside of C.
เล่นไปเจ็บตาแพ้ไปเจ็บ
Easy
ตา
to react to that. Now a stacked B hit seemingly being thought about. There's the Armageddon to consider.
One of the first times that Talon have really even just considered this side of the map. It's been seen pretty much the whole way through, but Plant does come through just alongside the box. Looks like it's going to be a triple fight into upper, and Crazy Guy's only going to be good for one. Shit Boy's able to go ahead, trades it back. Still some damage taken. Steel Garden online, however. Trying to take some of the bite out of this retake is for now. It's going to be that fake walking forward here on towards the site. Armageddon goes across. Full control of upper. Baby door in their hands. A turn of the flash. Cruz sliding down, sliding forward, but this time fully line it up. They turn back. Cushy able to find it. Taps the defuse. Paid out a little bit more. In the meantime, Kalua is completely contained over on this side, and now he's all on his lonesome to try to interrupt the defuse being held. Finds the first. And maybe if he had been able to find Xparrow, could have managed to scrape by with a miracle win. But
โปเกมอน
RRQ
แพ้ท่านมาก
pick up 2 in a row, regain the lead, and
ไม่เชิงอะ
potentially
ผมรู้
close
สึก
things
ว่าแบ
out
บ
with a 7-5.
Yeah, that got really
Meta.
messy there on B.
เมตากัน
Talon was
มัน
having a
ไว้มัน
hard time
ไว้
getting
มัน
the
โหด
space
เกิน
so
ไป
they could feel comfortable.
ไว้ที่โฮมันโหดเกินไปสำหรับฝั่งบุ
RRQ
กอะ
was just not giving up any ground. They were holding the line nicely all around the flanks. Nice little micro adjustment there by Xparrow at the very end to get off of the crosshairs potentially of his opponent. So Killua
แล้วมันก็เนิร์ฟพวกตัวเลสพวกไหนด้วยผมรู้สึกว่ามันเนิร์ฟเลสเนิร์ฟดีออนอะไรเงี้ยผมรู้สึกว่ามันเข้ายากอะ
And 4 of those from the pistol. As hit. I mean, they have to know that he's going to be in a shallow position, so they're looking for the hunt. The shorty, however, is there, and Xparrow collects 2 kills right into his trap. His 3 do fall. Smoke dissipating. Snappy shot. Jemkin able to take him down. And RRQ, and barring an ace clutch from the side of Jit Boys, will be securing themselves an advantage here going into their attacking half.
So a little wry smile from Jit.
Every angle being watched. Yep, flawless fashion to bring this half to a conclusion. RRQ out in front by 2.
แต่ท่าก็โอเค
Just a great bounce back again from RRQ. Kind of figuring out the tempo. Talon was really turning up the pace. And they were so ready every single time here in these last 3 rounds. Xparrow there by the skin of his teeth, able to get that pit through, get himself tucked into the corner with the shorty. And able to find 3 huge kills off the back of his ultimate.
สวยแล้ว
Really nice first half. I mean, normally
จบ
you'd be
เร็ว
looking at that
จังวะ
scoreline. It's your pick. It's Lotus. 5 and 7.
ก็เมื่อวาน29 นาทียังไม่ถึงฮาล์ฟไทม์เลยปะ
but RRQ's attack. We'll see. Maybe, you know, I'm
Let's
sure
go
that's
Talon
probably
ซื่อ
the
ๆ brother
biggest focus for
ซื่อ
this
เขาเด้อ
squad.
And if it wasn't, then we have some great
น่ารักอะ
concerns.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna go throw things at Ewok.
But yeah, of course, we have seen the stumbles. That split is going to be fresh in everyone's minds, including these players. Let's see. How do they do fare, though? A couple more seconds here for the coaching staff to continue to relay the game plan. The Jemkin, a little bit of a slow start, like you said, got that 3K, kind of opened the floodgates, started running it back, and was climbing the standings. Once he got that operator in hand, especially, was very much finding his groove. Needs to have that as this Yoru as they get ready to attack these sites.
I'm right there with you, and I'm really curious to see if there's some cool ideas with the Viper Yoru combo potentially being thought about by RRQ. There's a lot of cool ways where you can use that toxic screen to kind of hide where Jemkin is going to be and when those flashes are going to come through, and you can hide the TPs, stuff like that.
อุ๊ยแต่ลืมดูภาษาไทย
I think there's going to be
โทษทีพอดี
up their sleeve
ผม
potentially.
ชินดูภาษาอังกฤษอะ
The pistol round,
หวังว่าจะไม่ว่าอะไรกัน
who knows, but as we go along, TP already sent out towards Mound. There's an Arc Rose in the Vice Util right out front.
Two players here, Flash.
อุ้ยแต่ยังเทศอยู่
Unable to fully blind up. Jemkin does find one, but now
Hey!
push into the smoke.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
not
sorry,
a
sorry,
little
sorry,
bit more. Solid follow-up kill to be found, keeping this at a 3v3. Meanwhile, Xfero lurking, but Cruz has a read on this and has the
รู้
shot
อยู่แล้ว
knocked
ด้วย
out.
นะ
Xfero completely caught unawares.
ดูได้เหมือนนั่งอยู่ออฟฟิศ คุยกับลูกค้าอะไรเงี้ย
Not yet being committed to.
เรียลเซอร์เรียลไปไหมทั้งนั้น
Wrap all the way around.
Might consider it here.
They have plenty of
I mean,
time.
they have the read that this position is going to be encroached upon. So, yeah, I mean, you can see waiting for the retap. Kahlua has that stun prep, but it's not going to come through. But Cruz, once again, wise to this, is in the perfect position to try to go for the punish.
Yeah.
ไอทีคุย
Could
สนุ
just
กทั้
get
งวัน
one
ค
and
รับ
back off. Ooh. Oh, the timing.
อุ้ยทามมิ่ง
Back away.
Oh, the timing.
Peeks back into B. Still, though, getting ready to swing back through. Stays on the angle. Once at the
อุ้ย
push
ทาม
into
มิ่งดี
him.
ทามมิ่ง
Crazy
ดีจัด
guy will be left on the floor. Cushy trying to fake for it, trying to see if he can get Cruz to advance, to come away with that kill, to bring it to a 1v2, but Cruz does not bite. He has a gorgeous read on this round.
That is just beautiful stuff from Cruz. A+ on the homework. Coming into Lotus. Just had every twist and turn dissected.
แล้วเอาให้
Will be the one to
ค
go
รู
ahead
เอา
and
ให้
do
ครับ
a 3K for
อ่าน
the
เกม
IGL
ขาดมาก
tail. As Talon will tie things up in regards to the pistol count 1-1, and now just one round away from tying things up.
อ่านเกมขาดมาก
Get up to 6.
what
I mean, Cruz has been talking about in some of the press conference
แบ่ง
interviews.
สมองให้ผมสัก
post-match
นิดได้ไหม
interviews
ครู ผมจะได้เป็น IGL ที่เก่งบ้าง
that the reason that they decided to bring Kilo on tie-in is because they wanted to win now. You know, they've literally used the word greedy. They said they're greedy, him and Frost, that they want to win this year. And rounds like this show you that Cruz is dialed in, that he is really putting in some hard work and really
จริงครับ
understanding
พี่
his opponent's
พี่
tendencies.
พูดถูก
And understanding negative space. What can be going on in the map? Not a lot of teams are going to expect you to wrap all the way through defender spawn like that. Except for Cruz, except for Talon. They do.
Reads it like a book. Drone going to be cleared out. Doesn't catch a glimpse of too much as Salvo's going to be sent off these positions, but the flood's not coming through. They know that sheer wall's going to be in play. Jimboy's going to be overwhelmed. This crazy guy does manage to find one, but he takes Jimkin down with him. At the same time, pressuring around the back is just dancing here, but the Guardian still manages to find the shot. TP over to the side, Cushy fast enough to find the
อุ้ยแล้วไป
punish,
ซีเลย
but not enough time to try to go for the weapon recovery. Get themselves forward into the site. Just a Spectre, a Ghost in hand. Xfero with the classic on a lurk, tucked back over towards the spawn behind this B connector exit.
โอ้ยแล้ว
I
เลื
want
อก
to
ตล
see
อด
that kill from Jemkin's perspective. I can't say for sure, but part of me suspects he might have tried to fake the clone.
Oh. Headshot
Not sure.
found.
โอ้ย
Fault line
น่าเสีย
set,
ดาย
but Just going to be the aftershock and Snakebite to just go ahead and hold everything at bay. Monyet going to be stunned up now, very much as risk as the slide on the corner,
สวย
able to find one. Cushy needing these shots to be clean.
สวย
Right click, extrudes
ส
a
วย
little slower, but
โอ้โห
Talon able to find stability here yet
เฮ้ย
in the
อินฟู
round.
คอนโทรลเลยเปล่าวะ
7-7.
ดีครับเซนนี่ สวัสดีครับ
Could have just been a double peek with him and Monyet. Kind of curious, because he was just walking straight. Didn't really react to his opponent. But, we don't get to see it. Jitboy's got the kill. Whatever. Still, though, Pretty smooth sailing for Talon. Able to keep some of the important guns, 3 of them. That's what you want to do, basically. That's mission accomplished.
7-7 แล้ว
Find that bonus.
เชื่อนี้จะตึงๆไหมครับโอ้ผมว่าตึงทุกแมตช์
Nico though from RRQ. You can see decently advantaged. Obviously these Guardians can still do immense work for Talon though.
Yeah. The Bulldog.
เฮ้ยสวยมากพิมมี่
That's what I was just about to say. I was just thinking it.
Well, never mind.
Well, any gun in Primmy's hand is pretty good.
But now you get into a rocky position. Fault line avoided. Relay bolt holding them back. Xfero just managed to find one crew's going to be taken out. Decent little punish. Brings it back into a 4v4, but that entry power is still out of the hands of RRQ. Scaling forward without the Yoru. A bit more difficult. They also just have one flash left on Crazy Guy. Kid Boys peeking out, going to be taken down though, and that's going to be a nice little window of opportunity to play around with his. Xfero honestly was about to drift in and likely die to Primmy, but instead the door tap draws his attention elsewhere. So Primmy does eventually find that kill, but not before Xfero picks up a third.
Wants the gun upgrade, but is scared there's someone around the corner. Little does he know.
They'll hear it. Now they absolutely know, and he just walks straight into a firing squad.
30 seconds left.
RQ though not
โอ้ยโอ้โห
looking to lose any
เรา
more
ให้
weapons, and they will not. A solid headshot there from Manyet. Stops the bonus conversion, gets RQ back
สวยแล้ว
into
แต่
the
แบบโดน
driver's
เลิก
seat.
เยอะไป
Relatively fine casualties.
I was a little bit worried here initially for RRQ. Oh, right as jumped into the VCT. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure
ยิงได้ไงวะช็อตอย่างนั้น
jumping over the rock or trying to jump on the rock. One of the two. And then it's just really clean. Group up, find the open space. Catch Primmy off guard. Don't give him any hope of turning
ไว
around.
เปอร์เลย
on
เอา
its
เยอะ
head.
จัดเยอะจริง
Get that spike down, get through. Primmy has an op already though. It's okay, it's fine. Never in doubt.
For the safety of the boulder. This drone cleared, knows that there's going to be some deeper presence still yet in that A spawn, or that A spawn, that attacker spawn. Primmy. Decent forward angle. Xfero, I mean, he's basically completely pinned in. Slowly drifts around, but he's going to start walking his way back in. A timing!
โอ้โห
nearly found,
ฟิกนะนั่นน่ะ
Primmy, imagine it was a decent little flick there, comes away with a kill. Jin Boys at the same time picked off over a tree. And as the A site now opened up, ready for the taking. Double flash out. Manyet pulls off the angle right as Primmy's up at the peak end. RQ now in control of the site of 4v4 for the retake as Talon. Everybody already in position to get this going.
Yeah, great call there. To be aware of the op. Whoever realized it or said it, got Manyet, saved his life. See if they can hold the line. Paranoia still to work with for the side of Talon. Oh, doesn't it a thing?
Yeah, instant with a headshot there right before the smoke.
แปดสวย
Crazy Guy mows down the final 3. One away from a rolling thunder is RQ. Starting to get reestablished here.
เขาน่าจะขึ้น
Up by
10
two
ก่อน
once again, one away from double digits. Armageddon. Some other critical ultimates nearly online for the squad.
I wanted to see it from Primmy's angle because
Yeah.
Primmy jumped out and made noise. That's why Xfero peaks. That's why I went, ooh, because I was worried for Primmy that he had given the prize away
โด
there,
น
but he was able to still find the kill. However, RRQ just diligently working through space, getting the Vice out of the way so that util can't slow you down. Cruz tried to throw the Tejo util in there to do what he could to buy a little bit of time to set up for a retake. They're able to get pretty quickly in a position, but they're out of util at that point. Everything had already been expended, and they can't afford to wait for some of that to come back into cycle off the cooldown timers. So they have to make a go of it with just a Paranoia. It hits nobody, and they just get mowed down trying to push out towards the site.
I'm sure they're still active. You remember that YouTube channel that was really popular like 10 years ago, Bad Lip Reading?
Yeah.
I think somebody should do that for like the coach cams.
Oh, I've recommended this.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I put this when we go to global events, we fill out. I've recommended we do this.
Oh, I think that
on the analyst desk.
I could see that being very funny.
I think it'd be hilarious.
If anyone's wondering, like, how do I get the Valorant content? I want to make some content around the VCT, and I don't know what I should do. Do a bad lip reading.
Do a bad lip reading. I think that'd be a good one. I'd still like to do the. Oh, hold on. This might be okay. They slowed down. I was gonna say I want to do like the between two ferns, where we get players or coaches
you've been
on and
pitching
just
that one for a while.
Just roast them. Well, you have too. That's why I said we could do it together. Well, there's a lot of space taken by Jemkin over at A. I mean, he has to pop the vice wall, and that immediately pushes rotations over. Two players. This could open up some space, but with the drone coming through as well, this is tough to read for Talon. They have to check A. They have to be. Oh, and this is so good. They use that drone as a little bit of bait. Here's a TP put in the back of spawn for Jemkin. And now they're going to shift towards B. I thought maybe they were going to go over towards A. With how much space and info that Jemkin has. But instead, they're just going to try to use this to get onto the B site. And Talon's confused as well. This is a very tough round to read for both teams. There's been very little info given over.
RRQ though in a decent spot. Salvos buys some time here for the side of Talon. Door getting ready to be tapped. A major crunch potentially coming through here over towards B. Is Aftershock going to be sent through the door, but I think they still have to tuck back the Armageddon as well, layered in. Crazy guy able to find one Primy. The overdrive in play, finding Monyet. Rolling Thunder gonna go crashing across, pushes back the Neon, doesn't find much else though, is flashed through, turned away from, and now Primy left alone. Classic in hand, finding one, needing to get that point blank against Xpero, but cannot. The shorty is drawn out, and the timeout does not lead to a round win. RRQ now up to 10.
That was wild. I mean, that was really, really difficult for both teams to read, but in particular for Talon. A lot of util, a lot of kind of false information being thrown at you by RRQ. Obviously, it is a weaker buy. You know, Primy does have his ult, gets a classic kill, so be it, but other than that, not much they have to work with in terms of firepower. And they're starting to get fired up. Keep that confidence and energy high for RRQ, using that Teho util by a lot of space. That relay bolt was interesting.
It was a thing that happened. Stun on the tie, quick TP away. Double Thorn set up though. Try to really gum up the approach onto C. Slash over the top, Armageddon to clear out back sight. Jemkin gets his way forward. He's held in position for the moment. Util gonna be waited out. Shit boys through the smoke, able to just go ahead and find a timing. Not sure if maybe in her footsteps there of Xpero. Either way, finds that kill. Galua comes away with one.
Okay,
So she's picking up two. Keeps the round competitive as the spike gets planted, but Jemkin try to open things up.
แล้ว timing ดีกว่า
Wider, Jit Boys is at the ready. Finds the punish. Monyet now alone. Just a paranoia to work with. A smoke 6 seconds away. Here's the footsteps. Just waiting to see a pixel out of place. Spots one, but now they know his position. Kind of swings back in. Good for a singular headshot, but Talon are good for the round win.
There we go. Talon finally able to punch back after a couple rounds in a row for RRQ. Get this defender side a little bit more stabilized. I'd like to see some of that early exchange again. That was where a lot. Oh my God, Jit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a ton of util dumped on the C site. You're just going for a timing there. Cushy criminally get away with two in that moment. Had no business doing that. Still though, RRQ, or excuse me, Talon's able to stabilize, get these retakes.
ถ้าได้ราวนี้ก็เสมอตีเสมอได้ครับ
I mean, I think that was probably part of the timeout.
ถ้าได้นะ
Don't give up anything for free early. Jemkin getting through ahead of the Teho util. That's something you want to see. It's part of why everybody's been leading into Yoru with this Teho meta. You have a little bit of extra flexibility. They have a lot of control over A. Primy's on there by himself, but RRQ again. Just trying to force rotations out of Talon, trying to play with Cruz's head. And they've done a pretty good job of it potentially.
They're just really trying to catch somebody off guard, saying, please come peek into the door.
Yep.
But Talon not falling for it.
Trying to get it with the clone.
check in towards main. Nothing going to be spotted there. Primi, 3 peeks, finds Crazy Guy outside the door. Jemkin going to be struck down the spike now on the floor. Monyet into the corner. Trying to backpedal his talent, look for some more. Kushi pushing into B main. Comes away with
ด้วยกันสวย
Cruz.
มาก
Steel Garden at the ready. Monyet looking for a TP. Picks up that spike, starts sprinting over towards that C site.
They've got an opportunity to at least get the plant down. Nice to get that ult out.
B side.
Yeah. He's got to be so careful here, though. You have the pit ready. They're going to try to put it in the back corner.
A bit of a shallow one here. It's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
a very tight-knit scrap.
Well, this is really smart because Talon has to go way around the world to not just give up easy spam lines down this hallway.
Paranoia catching on the 3. Monyet. Oh, first the challenge in, finds Jit Boys. Knocks the Vice down to the floor. Tap through, couple pumps of this shorty. Not much more going to be found there, but they continue to fall lower and lower, and it's just a matter of time. The HP bars are just not going to be there for them. So Talon, they call for the scatter, they call
เซฟ
for
ดีกว่า
the save.
เออ
Ty and Kahlua make their
แม่
way
ไว
out.
เปอร์
But RRQ
เขายอมแลกเลย
not allowing for Talon to really rally back in this half. They get now up to 11.
It's a great back and forth in that round. Talon got a great read on what RRQ was actually trying to accomplish by setting up for the B crunch over towards A. They were able to counter that initially, but it's a good salvage from the rest of RRQ. Monyet, really clever with his ultimate, wrapping through, and then also another really clever ultimate from X-Pharaoh to put Talon in a really bad position because at that point, RRQ had all the information that everybody's over on that A side. So if they are going to clear that spot out, they have to come through, like gravel, through the spawn, through B main. At that point, it would take forever to get there. So really, really smart placement by RRQ.
Who's next?
Close fight. Here at A main, Primi goes sliding
Oh.
forward for Cushing on the peak. Immediately shuts him down, and now these positions squandered. Scouted is Jemkin. Flashing himself up, but hops back behind Rubble and finds a headshot onto Kahlua. Just the one trade there onto Cushy.
แบบแรกทารอนแพ้ตลอดครับ
So they might have to consider yet another save here.
มันเป็นเคิร์ดหรือไงวะเอ้ย
There for them. RQ very well poised to take this now up the map point. I though, perhaps some other ideas. It's the smoke out, but doesn't turn to the flash, and it's just frantic panic.
Just great pop flashes from Jemkin. Having a really solid map on the Yoru today. Crazy
Oh,
guy. Here are the
what is he
footsteps.
doing?
He was ready. He just got outdone.
Suddenly, a bit more doable. 2v2, a weapon picked up. Cruz now with a Vandal in hand, not just that stinger. Poison Orb thrown down, going to be a reroute here.
โอ้ยโอ้โหทามิ่ง
This feels like one of those pivotal rounds for RRQ.
Yeah, double fight out the back. Still a snake bite available here for the side of RRQ. Jit Boys seeing nothing now. I mean, they can fully assess where these players are at, having seen nothing. The wraparound from X-Pharaoh maybe needing to be a little bit faster, but Jemkin's able to find one. Snake bite now at the feet. There's the 4K for Jemkin, and map point for RRQ. Talon needing to run back 4 rounds to take this into OT.
ยากครับ
Really well played in the post plant. Great patience shown. Talon tries to catch him a little bit off guard. This is Talon trying to play with the conditioning they've been setting up. When they go for those rubble hits, it's just util at the front of rubble to buy the space. This time they try to use it to send Primi in to get a kill, and it's just shut right down. Very nicely handled by RRQ.
มาแล้วจะกินมาเลย
But it's going to be the last time out for Talon unless there's an overtime. And they need to figure this out. When they were playing for retake was when I thought they were kind of at their best. But even that sometimes wasn't always a sure thing. So Talon, what does Frost want to give them? I mean, it's tough right now. RRQ, frankly, doing a great job of working the map. Really impressed. You know, Crazy Guy comes through. Last week, they looked great on Ascent. The next 2 maps, one half of Split looked good, and then it kind of fell apart from there. So, you know, a lot of question marks then about Crazy Guy. You bring him in, you No, but Ewok talked about it on the desk. It takes time.
Yeah.
To get everybody integrated, to get the system together, to get all your players on the same wavelength as your IGL, to get your IGL on the same wavelength as your coaches. All these things so hard to do. And already though, we're seeing Crazy Guy really working the map really nicely and being more decisive. That's one of the most important things, right, for this RRQ team.
Yeah, it's all coming together. It's in a very good spot, it would seem, right now for RRQ. Obviously, that first map in the last years that they played also looked incredibly good.
True.
Things continue to develop throughout the rest of this series, but as far as this potential final round of Lotus is concerned, it's all a huge start. As the opening kill found. Flick not quite going to be there to get a punish onto Primi. He will tuck back, ride the rope up, and wrap back around here. But for now, I mean, RRQ just kind of their pick of the map.
And they had a little bit of extra economy, so they were able to throw in a couple rifles behind some outlaws to try to find those opening picks, knowing what the economy of Talon was going to look like, knowing that most of their players would be on half armor. They're able to punish that really nicely there, get that first kill, set Talon off balance once again. A drone through mid from Cruz, spots absolutely nothing. Let's see if they can get a little bit more info. They're suspecting A, but it's actually C. All on to Jit Boys.
Yep. Wall is there. Everybody gets out in front of this one. Still that linger from Xfero. A late flank potentially to come through. Spike crawl around the corner now, going for the plant. Cushy able to find one. Cruz gets the headshot there. Guardian in hand, comes away with one. Crazy not going to be taken down. Now the Rolling Thunder going to be in play. Flash is sent to try to just go ahead and stave them off. Monyet's position, keep him protected for the time being. And now Monyet can strike. Swings back in. Kahlua going to be taken down, looking for the spray, looking for the interrupt here on that diffuser. Able to find it. And Xfero, with the final shot now arriving, is there for the closeout. 13-8 RRQ. Looking alive and well on Talon's map pick of Lotus. They take them down and now have a set on the horizon.
A beautiful bounce back for RRQ.
Okay. รอฮาล์ฟไทม์ครับ วันนี้ไวเมื่อวานแต่ละเกมอย่างนานหือขึ้นคอคุณเล่น SEA เล่นไวหรือเปล่าครับ ผมอุ่นข้าวมากินไหม ยังไม่เสร็จสักชิ้นเลยจบเกมแรกแล้ว ส่วนผมอุ่นข้าวมากินครับ วันนี้ไปซุปเปอร์มาเลยซื้อข้าวกล่องมาทานง่ายๆซื้อไก่นำบังมาครับหน้าตาดูไม่ค่อยน่ากินเท่าไหร่แต่ประทังชีวิตได้แหละโอ้อืมไก่มันเศร้าๆอยู่นะอยู่แล้วครับ ซื้อมากล่องละ400 เยนเองกินไปด้วยดูไปด้วยครับ จะได้ไม่เครียด ข้าวเขาหุงอร่อยอยู่ อืม อร่อย ไม่เละไปไม่แห้งไปจนกินเนี่ยต้นตอนที่ไม่ ช่วงปกลางเกมผมก็ไม่ได้กินแล้ว อืมเออข้าวดีกินกับอะไรก็อร่อย ใช่ มันช่วยเปลี่ยนให้ไก่เศร้าๆอร่อยขึ้นได้อะมันก็ดีเหมือนกันนะ อืม ข้าวอร่อยอ่ะ อืม อืมอืมผมอยากกินข้าวกับชาคู่ทงคัตสึเขาเปลี่ยนคนหุงข้าวหรือเปล่าทำไมมันนวลนุ่มจังเลยวะขอบคุณสำหรับอาหารครับอร่อยข้าวอร่อย อิ่มละอร่อยมากครั้งแรกซื้อมาไม่อร่อยอ่ะไม่เชิงแบบแหวะกินไม่ได้ไม่เชิงแบบโอเคมันกินได้
on this map, pairing it up with the Vice Teo as well, and the Astra, you're drowning in util, you're drowning in great set plays. I really like this from Talon.
Yeah, and then you see RRQ sticking with what worked for them, so they didn't have to show as much in the second half on their second side, but they have definitely shown a little bit of what it took to beat Nongshim, particularly on that defense. So Talon will be able to read into that for the second half, but at least for RRQ, on that attack, they didn't have to show so much in their opening game just yet.
Well, I know there are a couple chefs on both sides here, and Talon, I know this is a Frost recipe for this particular combo. Let's see if the recipe is any good. We're going to send this to your casters, Achilleos and Paperthin.
That's right, you hear that music. It's time to jump into game. Map number 2, make some noise as we drop the beat, and I can't keep it up. I can't. I would be a horrendous DJ. But
I wasn't. I thought for a second you might be going for like a WWE style walkout or something.
I wouldn't even know what that even sounds like in the modern era, unless it hasn't changed, because I haven't watched that since I was 10. Because that's who it's meant for. Anyway, let's get into the map. As shout out to GB. Primi just gonna be forced out of B main. We're getting silly today.
We are. We're having fun today. I'm having a blast watching that Lotus, so I'm expecting this ascent to be very tricky for RRQ on this attacker's side. I think with this double Sentinel comp, now, even though it seemed to me, thinking back to the pre-show interview with Frost and Ewok, that Ewok had a pretty good idea. Something like this might be brewing for the Talon side. It's still hard to deal with because there's a lot of stall, a lot of delay, and even though Talon gave up the A side pretty willingly.
Okay, Chempkin is
okay,ไม่รอด
plans for that.
Looked like for a second he was going to survive with the sliver, but he's going to take it down. Now the push out of the smoke. Cushy able to find one. The trade it back. Getting another 2v3. Singular upgrade to the Ghost, and both of these players on the side of RQ worlds apart.
Love this pistol round planning from Talon. Even though you're giving up the A side, it looks juicy.
30 seconds left.
Not able to get through because there's a ton of utility being thrown in there. I think 3 assists come through on that Tejo kill. It's beautifully drawn up by the Talon boys as they're now going to realize, looks like they did in fact abandon A. Had just enough time to get over here to beat.
10 seconds
Get
left.
the spike down. Still a paranoia to play with for Monyet, but beyond that, not much punching power in terms of utility. Gonna have to get it done with a classic and a Ghost.
Pop flash at the ready. Monyet able to turn away. Trying to get some capitalization there, but cannot, but does successfully manage to just go ahead, drift back into the site.
Here.
Player advantage firmly in the hands here of Talon. Did not get isolated and picked off. Monyet back at boats. The push out of the smoke! He's able to steady that one for the second headshot. Primi, Kahlua both decently low on HP. The swing out Stops the plant, stops the defuse, I should say. As Monyet now just playing ring around the rose.
โอ้โหมันเย็ด
Gets the reload and
Oh.
gets the Red Bull clutch RRQ. Taking the lead in pistols and starting off ascent with a right
Oi.
foot forward.
You gotta love to see it. You got to love those Monyet clutches. Gets ahead of that flash. Basically counters the only piece of utility that Talon had left in the bag with his own, with the paranoia. And then even though Talon makes a pretty good decision to just stack up and try to push through, Monyet's able to use that boat's wall so effectively. See it time and time again, and that's the 10th clutch in VCT Pacific history.
Feels like that's a number too low, to be honest.
It feels like he's had a lot more than that.
Yeah, given some of his plays.
But those clutches he has.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I see Monyet make a play like that, and I just... Oh, I gotta enjoy a Red Bull myself.
that was.
I hope that went through the microphone. If it didn't,
did.
it just...
I heard it.
Just sounds like you're laughing at nothing.
Well, that wouldn't be unusual for me.
That's also true. Sometimes the thoughts and the
Yeah,
the
what's
voices.
what's going on inside this head?
No one can contemplate. No one really wants to know.
Correct.
Jit Boys plays around with some timings there, but ends up falling there as he goes for a bit of a challenge to play off the back of that grab net. Ends up getting taken down. Just classics abound here for the side of Talon.
So I like this diligence from RRQ though. You know, you already fell to a trap in the first round. Now you're really making sure that these choke points are as safe as possible. Ooh.
Oi.
Well,
Looking for the read, looking for the rotate over onto the A site, but everybody's pushed up. It's a pizza party there for RRQ. And Talon were not invited. Ty and Kahlua now. Two most recent additions to try to see if they can get some damage dealt. Stop this from being a flawless. Monyet puts a bit of damage down. 3 swings, finds a headshot. Will be able to go ahead and clean things up. So flaws for RRQ in the anti-eco.
all right.
เมื่อเรา
Now,
อี
this
โค
is where
เรา
things
อีโค
get
เนื่อง
interesting
ตัว
for
เอง
me
เข้า
with
แถว
this
ที่
Talon.
ใช้ข้าวจะ
You've
เกษตร
got 2
กินเงี้ยไม่เป็น
Sentinels.
อ๋อมันต้องข้าวหอม
This
มะลิ
can
ถึงจะแบบ
really
ฟู
annoying, for RRQ.
มันอร่อย
Ultra diligent. They've looked pretty good here in the second round, but you know, again, going up against weaker weaponry, you've got a little bit more comfort to be a little bit more aggressive with some of those angles. Because of the stall that Talon's composition has built into it. One of the things I really liked about RRQ when we saw them last week was that they were doing a great job using these double drones to get information. That could actually be something that's shut down here by Talon. In this case, Primi just walks up, clears one of them, and you have the ability with the Vice and with the Deadlock to slow down the other. If they get a read off of the Owl drone, you can slow them down, get those rotates into place, get your pieces on the board in the right spot, and really make RRQ's life a nightmare on this attacker's side. It's just going to be curious to see how well they're able to play off the back of that. That's really what I'm looking at.
Everything grinding to a halt here. RQ, I mean, been on heavy exploration of the map, but now we'll start sliding in towards the main. Slow approach
โอ้
to
โห
Primi.
จิมมี่
Fast on the taps. Jemkin, Cushy both going to be knocked down. Spike now on the floor. This is going to be the wide swing.
เลือกไม่ถูก
Playing distract. Plants of feet finds that kill. In the meantime, crazy guy on the slow approach works his way in towards the site.
30
Does
seconds
do
left.
quite a bit of damage here to Cruz, but cannot confirm the kill. So now a 2v4.
Shadows traveling.
Monyet trying to sell this, but they have the tuck now into wine. Talon in a good spot to just basically keep this 2-2 spread. Now noise going to be heard. Ty just going to be able to go ahead and disrespect his timing. Finds the first, the re-swing, and
ส
Kahlua
วย
get a piece there from Boats. Talon not allowing for a bonus conversion, only suffering a single loss. Get themselves a round win.
Yeah, and so great round here for Primi. Just holds down B main, clears the drone early, and then is able to just kind of sit in the corner and wait this out. Wait for RRQ to be forced into that space. But the real question for me is, what are you going to learn from that round as RRQ? You saw where one of the sonic sensors was going to be placed right outside of A main and how they're trying to work off of tree for that. So are you going to try to take some tree space to kind of nullify that potential angle in the future? Primi again, though, so far forward. smoke to try to counter it.
Does eat a shot. Smoke about the drop. Does go ahead and play on a thin timing. Gets himself out to safety with the gate crash. Refills the space. Saw the fake out. Over towards Lumber in the meantime. Bit of an attack getting ready to come through onto this A site is Monyet. He doesn't cancel it. He sticks it. He's dead.
Well,
back Jen. Jim Boy's able to find one. Jimkin, crazy guy. A little bit of a split fire.
อุ้ยสวย
As
yep. Didn't go good.
we just move on.
Yep. It's them trying to create that extra angle. And just Monyet kind of commits.
I think he thought that they just didn't notice and I can stick this, and then they did.
Maybe he thought they were just going to clear him and he was going to go back anyway. I don't know. Hard to say.
Well, Sparrow's dead. And that's us tied up at 2-2.
Okay.
Nothing more to be said. We don't have to watch the replay. Just let's just go straight into round 5.
We can just watch him run around and buy guns. It's fine. And that's just the, you need that extra angle to make that execute work, and it gets shot down. So that's round over, essentially, as long as something crazy doesn't happen. You've got Guardian, a couple Sheriffs, Frenzy, a Stinger. So pretty weak buy for RRQ. There again, maybe backed out. This time by the Tejo util. Try to buy some space to set up Primi.
Big push out in towards mid. Kahlua able to collect one. Xfero going to be taken down now. Talon just getting wrapped around in towards his A site. This time Monyet just TP up towards Jen. Much safer spot. Plant going to be coming through. Jemkin down to 21, eating quite a bit of damage with just that frenzy in hand. Cushy, however, late linger in from mid. Does manage to find Thai, takes him down at range.
โอ้ยแล้วพิมมี่เอาไปหนึ่ง
4v3 though. This crazy guy ends up getting picked apart. Dimensional Drift goes out. Primi on the hunt, pushes forward, spotting one. Monyet has somewhat successfully dodged around it until this very moment where he does get spotted. TP's back in towards Hell. Cushy still coming up with value. Comes away with 4. It's on for an ace. The late lingering Sova to turn the tides of the round.
เรียบร้อยครับ
Scenes from Cushy will not be rewarded with an ace, will not get another one under his belt, it would seem.
เรียบร้อยครับ
RRQ will steal away the round in what should be considered a thrifty. Now up 3-2.
What a play there. First of all, just the late linger by Cushy. So smart there. Catches the smokes player and a great TP from Monyet. Sends Talon scrambling behind the Gen, and Cushy is right there waiting to capitalize. Brilliant. Brilliant play from him. Now he's got a Hunter's Fury to boot. Xfero has the Neural Theft. Boys does have the Annihilation, so a few things to toy around with in terms of ultimates, and think about that. You use that Dimensional Drift. Now, granted, it's you're just kind of cycling through those as quickly as you can, but that's a brutal one for Talon. And a great outplay for Cushy. The best Sova we have in the league. At least this year.
He's certainly been looking like it. Jemkin spotting out to Paranoia. Hunter's Fury trying to track and unable to find those tags there. And Ty swinging out from tree, able to find one. Monyet couldn't put on the floor. Jimkin quick to trade it back. So a bit of a botch there on the execution. RRQ for now still in control of the site. As Annihilation goes in, does get the reel in onto one. Xfero trying to play the doorway. The spray to try to just go ahead and break the cocoon, but even if you do, yeah, I mean, he's already dead. As these are just back-to-back insane rounds.
It's been pretty chaotic. Both teams reacting really well to each other.
ขอบคุณสำหรับซุปเปอร์แชทครับ
Widely just squandering their advantages. I mean, somehow that Hunter's Fury combo, I mean, maybe a bit of a curse by calling him best over the league. Doesn't find any value off of that despite the tracking, the scouting from that Dimensional Drift. Crazy guy, fresh, back to the stage.
เดี๋ยวนะภาพเดิมเลยดิ
Pull off the 1v3.
ภาพเดิมเลยนี่ครับ
Keep the lead here for RRQ.
He's got his salvos.
Oh boy, but he is in such a brutally shallow spot.
ภาพเดิมเลย
Transfer, Chip Boy's Primi both going to be taken down. Cruz has to know that he's out on main. Just needs to win the firefight. Shots fly, swing.
โอ้โหแต่ชนะ
plants his feet, survives 12 HP, the difference.
เกือบภาพเดิมเลยเกือบภาพเดิม
Winning the round and tying things up 3-3.
This is just so wild. I mean, almost again heroics for RRQ. The start of this, a trade, you're at least able to gain control of the site, but with that annihilation angle, things just crumble as RRQ is scrambling to try to get kills behind it or free their trapped player. There's just no hope for them to do so. And yeah, another nice play there for Cruz. 6-3. He's had a couple big rounds for Talon today.
Here.
Now he's got an Armageddon as well. And it's a weaker buy for RRQ. To what looked like they might be able to string some together. They do have their ultimate for the Tejo. So, the drones say hello.
Both cleared some salvos. Sen.
Didn't clear the corner.
No, it does not, but the rifle will. To push forward, Monyet going to be taken down. That's one of the few rifles that RQ had in play. Now on the floor, the Guardian stranded. Spike going to be picked up. They dodge out on the concuss.
Fake teleport.
Like the proactivity here from Talon. Don't even let RRQ get to post plants. Don't let them get through those chokes. You've got the Sentinel utility. You've got control of the map. Make RRQ earn it. Don't give them the chance like you did in the previous anti-eco, where, you know, you just got one Guardian in Cushy's hand and he's able to win the round. So it's just, you know, they're leaving a lot of mid open, but feeling pretty comfortable after thwarting the early attempts.
At the ready, Chip Boys not getting caught by the shot. As I say that, never mind, but if first net, they're going to be cleared out. A site now open. 3v3. Two players nearby, however, to try to get the interrupted. There's Cushy taken down. Ty able to find one. The plant interrupted. Repositioning now, needing to fight their way out from hell to get this spike in. Won't even be necessary. Sparrow holds his ground.
ภาพจำยังชัดเจนเหมือนเดิมไม่แต่เรามาดูครับเป็นผู้ติดตามใหม่ฝากตัวด้วยนะครับสวัสดีครับ
I think they have a great read on this round.
สนิท
The
เอง
early
ครับ
pick is a TP out from Jemkin to the corner, but
30 seconds left.
you know,
ทามิง
good God.
ดัก
Today for RRQ, really sharp. So you can't give them any chances.
ทำเอาด้วย
But that kill
อย่าง
onto the deadlock, onto Jit Boys, is what really breaks things open for RRQ. If he can hold the line there, probably looks like a pretty easy round for Talon. Now they're on an eco.
Primi, an opportunity though. Will get shut down. Kahlua thinking about trying his odds, but just the classic in hand.
แต่กลัวชิวเกินไปหันกลับมามองแค่ไม่ทัน
Cover that sheriff either. Dropped in behind the
แพ้หลายราวเกินทารอนหลายราวที่ควรได้
This is really good diligence from RRQ. Going against an eco now. Just making sure that there's nothing crazy that's going on around the map. Oh boy. Timing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, anything other than the classic, a ghost, a sheriff, etc. Or just some cleaner shots with the classic. Would have been a different speaker there to find at least a bit of value, but for now, still going to be on a flawless pace here, RRQ. As Cam is not cleared out, they have full vision of that alley approach. And it looks like Cruz and Jit Boys just going to go their separate ways here. Try to divide and conquer whatever they can, but both ways that they're trying to push in, tripwires waiting for them.
On the hunt.
And you know.
Because that gives him his ult.
Another dimensional drift now online. He's been having a whale of a time. Cruz now just happy to stay tucked away. They know exactly where he's at. We'll just leave him to his own devices. Let him go down to the spike.
Yeah, this is, excuse me, starting to look really good for RRQ.
Unacceptable.
What's unacceptable?
I'm not excusing you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
How dare you cough?
Yeah.
How dare you be a human?
Yeah, my bad. I mean, I tried to be a robot, but it didn't go so good.
5-3. RQ looking good. Talon gotta be scratching their heads here.
Yeah.
Granted, lower buy on this round, but needing to find some stability in the next one here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things need to
เรียบ
happen
ร้อย
for Talon. One is just being a little bit more patient. I think that's the rounds where they've looked better, where they're not just being really aggressive at B main. That really hasn't paid off too much for them. Generally, RRQ, I think, has kind of gotten the better of them.
You
in
are
terms
not
of that
doing
turf
things
war.
right
You need a little
You
bit more
keep
util towards
it.
mid, whatever that may be, or just
You keep not
better
looking at
control of
these
that. Maybe if
corners
you can get,
check the
a sniper in
corners
Freddie's
อะไรประมาณ
hands or
นี้หรือ
something
เปล่า
like that, to just make sure you get that space. Because once you have that mid control down,
Stop
the rest
getting
of the
lurk
map
in mid
should
or
be pretty
something
well covered by the double sentinel util. Like if you look at the map, the way they're setting things up, it's a lot of times the Vice stuff at the front of B, the Deadlock stuff over on A, and you should just be able to kind of lock that down. Now, RRQ's done a pretty good job of trying to bait some of that out, but I think some of the kills that Talon has given over have just been a little bit of over-eagerness of trying to take some space, and instead you just need to make sure mid's under control, let the Sentinel util do its thing, play off of that information, and you should be in a much better position.
I think some of the emotions
กัปตัน
there
เซนิ
seem
มองว่าไงรอบ
across
นี้
space, maybe a bit overtelling how things are at the moment in the
ทารอน
comms
โดน
between the coaching
โดน
staff and the
RRQ อ่าน
players.
เกม
Really,
เออ
really satisfied with some of the feedback they're
แบบเขารู้
getting.
ว่าจะดันก็เลยแบบ
As okay, forward push,
นั่นแหละ
push out, shot down by Cushy in range. Glua able to go ahead,
Spike down B.
trade it back, but still, our operator down on the floor and damage dealt. Kalua gonna look for a little bit of a later timing. Monyet gonna be swinging
อืม
in
นั่นไง
perfectly.
เขาจะเอาคนหนึ่งไว้ข้างหลังไว้เออ
Kalua shut down. And RRQ firmly in control of this B site.
Spike
And,
planted.
I mean, given that there's an op on the floor, the economy that you have,
I think you
they have to
save.
consider for the save now.
I think you save, you grab the op, and you just take it a little bit slower.
Seems like they maybe favor it.
แล้วพอจิตบอยลึกไปก็ช้าเกิน
Coming out, buying a little bit more time. The cam there on to Cruz. Paranoia now, everything being sent his way. You're gonna have to consider this more and more. You're running out of time to try to make it happen. Now Cruz is gonna be taken down. The players into committed a position. Jemkin will fall, and Jit Boys maybe left this go on this recovery mission, but he's not gonna be able to get out in the mid. The angle's already watched. Xpero is there. He's pinching in from bench. He's looking for the shot. Jit Boys will be able to find one, but needs to find a hell of a lot more. A solid headshot to clean it up a bit. Looks for, okay, Monyet, and will be able to find it. So good answering damage back. The ult is online here for Jit Boys. He retains his weapon, but everything else is just ripped out
ต้อง
of the
ดู
hand
ว่า
of
เอา
Talon.
คืนได้ไหม
RRQ now
อีก
gets
สาม
the
ราว
six.
เพราะ
Yeah,
ว่า
I don't mind the idea, but it's just a
ผม
better
ผม
response
ว่า
by RRQ. They're really ready for this. Cushy
เขาเรียกไง
again.
แผนบุกของทารอน
Stellar understanding of his
ยังตี
opponents. And
แล้ว
good
อยู่จากโร
shooting
ตัส
to
นะ
boot.
ยังตีของไอ้นี่ไม่ได้
I think this should have never been an
ยังตีของ
attempted
RRQ
retake
ไม่ได้
from Talon. I think you grab that op and you go back to trying to use it to take mid control. But you don't expect Primi to lose a battle like that. You know, with an op in hand, you're pushing mid. Yes, you're the one moving. Yes, your opponent probably has a chance. But he's generally so quick on the trigger. Just an outplay by Cushy, and RRQ sets that round completely off kilter for Talon, who had committed, fully committed to that mid hit. But I like it. I'm fine with it. That was the weaker part of the map. It just was better played by RRQ.
Jemkin sending out that gate crash, anticipating this pressure, and oh my
นั่น
god!
ไง
The second shot is
เขาโดน
disgusting.
โดนออฟแองเกิลตลอดเลย
Still
เว้ย
finds the third. And Talon cannot catch a damn break. Flawless as RRQ make their way up to 7.
You ever seen those GIFs where casters like
Oh no.
go back and what?
You said GIF.
Yeah.
Continue.
Don't look a GIF.
GIF is a peanut butter.
Don't look a GIF giraffe in the mouth, okay? If you want reasons why, you can use the G that way.
คือเขา
like the
โดน
casters like
โดน
go
ออฟ
back
แอง
in
เกิล
their chair
แล้ว
and
พอ
just
ดันไป
kinda
ก็โดน
like
ดัก
eyes wide open. That was me in that round.
Yeah.
ไม่รู้จะ
Just
ต้อง
watching
ทำไงเหมือน
Jeff
กัน
could do that.
That was me after you said GIF.
Yeah,
Anyway,
okay.
barriers fall. I know most people are split on that.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Say it however you want.
For me, it's a peanut butter.
Also that.
Childish.
But that's
Cruz
spelled with a J.
is trying to take some space here. Flash out. Sheer wall in very deep. As Jit Boys Monyet not noticing. There's a pixel off place there. Okay, jumps across, but an immense amount of damage taken. Monyet down to 30, forced out of Gelato.
But that should give you a lot of comfort to take some control of the map here. You had so much. The only thing you really need to worry about is catwalk and mid. That's where Primy's going to be watching partly. Otherwise, just trying to play off util for tree. For tie. Here we go. Dimensional drift forward. Jemkin. What can he find? He's going to see the Vice and Cruz. Immediately a steel garden in response.
Trying to slow things up.
แล้วพี่มีสวย
Down on arrival. Monyet tucked into the corner. Just waiting for that rifle to be available to him once again. Cam spot out onto one, but Cruz counter spamming. Monyet low on HP, ends up falling. It's Primy tucked over onto the side. It's going to be easy little mowdowns here for these players. Time dwindling. Cushy needing to fight his way through, but Primy has the headshot, slams the door
แต่ครู
on
เล่
him.
นสวยเมื่อกี้นี้
His talent
คือไม่เอาออกเพราะว่าให้เบรก
4-round
ให้เบรกให้เห็น
victory from
ให้เห็น
RRQ.
ให้เห็นเส้นกระสุนยิ
Potential
งผ่าน
for
กำแพง
7-5 to try to keep things decently close here at the half.
เบรกให้พี่มี่
RRQ still in a very strong position though, going to be looking for that 8-4.
Well, this is where some of that control, that map control, that Talon is able to take comes into play because Primy's able to shift really quickly over out of mid. He's been watching it the whole time. You know nobody's over at A
เอาแค่
main. You pretty much know this is going to be a B hit. The Oro all
ฮ่า
gets
ฮ่า
popped.
แค่7-5
You
พอ
know
มี
where
หวั
it's
ง
going to be at. You wait for it to run out. You throw down the steel garden, take the guns away from RRQ. Primy steps in, knocks players down. Really well thought out there by Talon. That is a great reaction from them. And this is great understanding of what's going on. So you need more of that here to get this 5th round. RRQ, gonna send out the shock dart, looking to clear util.
No.
There wasn't anything there. The arc rose is up on the wall, so I don't think there was a.
I think the vines.
The vines were not.
I think it's just the one in play at the moment.
Yep.
I mean, you can see Kahlua doesn't have any money. He's bought down to half armor, so I think it's only just the one Razor Vine in play.
ด้านไหนเขามิดมาอีกแล้ว
On RRQ.
Check in towards tree. Die smoked off here for the moment. Pushes down to refill space. Jemkin has a gate crash available. Just a hair off on the peak, and they catch a glimpse of each other. But these two players just going to be going their separate ways.
But you know that there's probably on 3 on B. But they're still going to try to make it go.
Dimensional drift now. Scouting forward. Flash connecting. Tie blinded up. Wraps around towards Alley. What is the play call here? Looks like they're just going to try to push their way forward here out of market. Ty going to be taken down. Just a straight shot from Cushy out through the smoke. Able to find him, but the time is dwindling. 12 seconds. Hunter's Fury opened up. Cruz falling. Kahlua trying to hold the line. Dodges out the shots. This plant being stuck. Needs to be stuck, Monyet.
ทันปะ
He finds that headshot, but does he have it? Just
โอ้โห
barely does.
พอดีเป๊ะ
4 seconds remaining. As Jit Boys ask the clutch.
โอ้โห
finds the
พอดี
first.
เป๊ะ
Can't get any more. 8-4 RRQ, leaving Talon on the floor.
เย่แหละ
I mean, quite frankly, a couple of these rounds have come down to just RRQ being ultra sharp with their shooting. And this is another one. Killua, oh jeez Louise. This is the right play here from Killua. If he gets this kill onto Monyet, that would have been round over. He has to take that timing.
เรียบร้อยเลย
Maybe you could argue he was a step too soon, but whatever.
I don't know how Monyet got that.
I don't
shot.
know.
Sliggy must have said this looks good for Talon or something. Because that was some big curse energy right there. Either way, RRQ got to be feeling damn good about their odds.
They're doing just such a good job of being patient enough, you know, working through some of that utility, finding their moments, and really getting the space. Oftentimes, you know,
ดัง
to
ไม่
work
ดีเลย
against Talon.
สวัสดีครับเส้นอีกคุงรับมาครับสวัสดีครับ
And I thought maybe Talon, I mean, again, Talon is a good read on that round. They know what's happening. You know, Primy uses his ult. It looks like they should be able to just shut it down, but then snappy shooting comes through. Some RRQ fans? Yeah, absolutely.
Both teams decently represented here on this chilly Monday evening. Still just 6:30 p.m. here in Seoul, South Korea. People continue to make their way over to the venue, but right now RRQ is just looking to bring this to a very surprisingly fast conclusion.
This is such a good map for them, and that attacker side looking so good. Cruz getting a little bit info, but yeah, just have to force the TP out there. Not much else to do. And now the real question is do you kind of try to work the map a bit, wait for those to come back online? Tons of pings out, you're able to get your opponent's Taeho util out as well, so. Oh no.
Well, tripwire set up, Chip Boys pushing forward towards window, is able to find one crazy guy, gonna take it down, but Jim gets there to protect the ghost. Swings in, finds the kill. Cruz one back into his favor here as Monyet does fall. Spike gonna be recovered. Blew out onto the site, but now the spike is stranded away from him. They know exactly where the vice is. RRQ looking to go 3-1 in pistols.
They're so clean today. Very disciplined. Not going to give him any chances. Take just some crazy shooting here. Okay.
Taps you've ever damn seen. Finds the first one. Some solid damage. Dealt 60 HP between the two remaining players, but RRQ finding the win all the same. 9-4. Talon.
GG.
See a stinger there as we get ready to go into the replay.
ยากอะ
Just thinking it. I'm like, do you force up again here? Because would it, losing that pistol is backbreaking. You really needed that one on this attacker side. With how fearsome RRQ looks on both sides of the map here on Ascent. Need every round you can get, and indeed, it is going to be the Stingers. A couple Bulldogs and a bunch of Spectres for the side of RRQ. Try to hold things down. Early exchange. Using a little bit of util there for both of the Taehos. Just trying to find that moment to open up a little bit extra space. Cruz on a fact-finding mission. Doesn't see much, but that means Xfero's position in spawn is going to be unidentified. He can lean a little bit more towards B, especially with that other drone coming through.
Shock dart there. Sent on the entry. No one receiving the damage from it. Just clearing out that fake up for the time being. On the recons, just trying to get rid of this wall here is Xfero. Over at Alley, the push now getting ready to come through onto the side. Jimkin trying the first, finding the second, finding the third is Cushy. Will go ahead, get himself one, but running out of bullets is Primmy. Stunned to the corner is Primmy. Dead is Primmy. As RRQ will move up 10-4.
I love that we got to see that from Jemkin's point of view because he pinged that out. He pinged that call out. He said, Cushy, fall back. We're going to set up a crossfire onto this corner. We can allow Xfero to watch our backs from spawn, even if they smoke that space out. And that's exactly what happens. That was really nice. Really well thought out, and you got to like to see Jemkin getting involved there with some of the IGLing, with some of the ideas.
โหด
Calling some shots. 18 kills to boot here on the Yoru. Having a tremendous day for RRQ. Him and Cushy have been lights out here on Ascent.
18-8-1. It's been a rather large performance from Jemkin. Monyet caught in a net. No chance of a punish. Oh, Light gonna be spotted out. Jemkin puts some damage down, but decides to go ahead and jump away. Gate crash keeps him safe.
Shit, trying to crouch underneath the smoke and looking for the peak. But Monyet not going to give it to him, at least initially. Jemkin quick to rotate in. Oh, good shoulder peek, but tries to go for the follow-up, and Jemkin just shuts it down.
19-8-1.
Do we see 20?
Getting closer to your birth year. Just needs to get a couple assists. And then we're good to go.
God. All right, I'll give you that one. That was good. You got me to laugh.
18-8-1. That was when the American Red Cross was founded.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, wasn't that like? No, that was 1812. Was that war?
Yes.
I remember that one.
Famously called the War of 1812.
Yeah, I remember that one.
As Chit Boys trying to make his way across in towards the site. Some decent damage going to be found, but sprayed through these SMGs, doing wonders here as Ty does manage to find a right click through. He's running out of time. Can he even get the plant down? Nope. It's the drop down, and that's going to be the final kill. 11-4, RQ looking to just run away with this entire map.
Well, I mean, you go for the force up. Tough going into the next round. You're just not going to have much economy to back it up. So desperation from Talon gets thwarted. And RRQ in cruise control to take this one. Potentially 2-0, barring a miracle comeback here. I mean, they're playing so smart today. Just not really giving many opportunities. Sure, Ty gets a couple. One of them's just a classic shot through the smoke. So it'd be like that sometimes, but you're happy to have those happen on rounds where you basically already won anyway. Just trying to force a reaction here out of RRQ or Talon. Using the clone, using a lot of util.
Just conceding absolutely zero space to them.
Yep.
Aside from Catwalk, that's completely opened up. No,
That's okay.
In that position, but yeah, I mean,
Give
more than happy.
You have the camera there. You're fine to have that info.
Jiggle spotting one, drone now spotting two. Might have even seen the third. That tuck into bitches. Sends the smoke. Oh, and does not squander it. That was looking like it was going to be some grade A USD and prime beat, but does manage to go ahead and find the kill. Does get traded out. Jit Boys finding that singular one, but it's just this back and forth brawl that RRQ are constantly in the advantageous position of. They have the lead, so every single time the pendulum swings, they just continue to be out in front. Ty now stuck, tucked in here, under Cat. The rotate coming in around the back. Sparrow should know exactly where he is.
เรียบร้อย
Could have gone for the knife, honestly, if he wanted to. Instead, we'll just go ahead, puts him down nice and easy, shows some mercy,
GG
and gets RRQ up to series point.
And
ปืน
that's
ไม่
one
มี
of
ไป
those
สู้
rounds,
เขา
it's a
แล้ว
default that we saw from RRQ last week on Monday, where they'll just have X-Pharaoh onto A, and they'll use the camera to watch tree. There's trips at the front, and what they can do is then put more pressure in the mid. That way, if they catch a tree push, if there's 3 or 4 players, they can then use that to slide in towards the courtyard to try to catch the flanks of their opponent. Rely on X-Pharaoh to buy a little bit of time, and then use that to get the extra angles. Crazy guy, oh, Killua for a second there, I thought was going to be lined up. Actually doesn't take any damage, so
Yeah.
not the end of the world.
Back a little bit further. X-ray vision working against us for a brief little moment.
And look at this, now they have a different setup off the back of that cam. They've got the Teho and Jemkin there to kind of potentially catch their opponents off guard. So some different looks, and they leave mid wide open. Just feel like with this weaker weaponry, maybe Talon won't do too much exploring on it, but in fact they do. Cruz is going to use that drone to get that info, and immediately Primi starts sliding in. And they've got, yeah, this is great from RRQ. Play for retake here. Cosmic Divide, yeah.
They're ready, just looking for any kind of angle, checking out boats. Nothing available there. RQ fully disconnected positions.
Brilliant.
As Talon in control of the site. RQ just letting them dump everything. Now we'll look for the retake. They have the dimensional drift. They have an Armageddon of their own, but it's going to be Jit Boys and Ty coming away with some nice kills as Manya and Kaji both going to be taken down. Cruz up in the market, finding one, and the dimensional drift while scouting. He's not going to be seeing much other than likely round loss, but Jemkin has some other ideas. 5 HP, surely not. Even with Killua at 1. The swing out, Primi will go ahead and puts him down, and Talon hold on by a thread.
Yeah,
มีถือ
even
โอดิน
though this round doesn't go RRQ's way, I like the way they play it.
มีถือโอดิน
Thorough.
It is. And they force out all those ultimates because they just leave the site. And Talon has to press. They have to make sure that every round is 100%. And then a couple kills from Jemkin with the economy and the state that it is right now for Talon. That's so painful. And obviously you've got match point the rest of the way through, so go nuts. Now he's got an op, an Odin for Crazy Guy. He's got his ult. There is an Odin.
He's looking to match.
Yeah. It is no longer the B main spam battle, which I think most people are kind of okay with. I am.
Oh, just waiting out that drone. Now gets onto the angle.
I think Cushy might have popped the vice wall. Yeah, he did.
A lobby out of their hands now.
Fake teleport.
Gate crash set up.
Oh, man, yeah.
Towards that
12-4
Monyet
12-5 แล้วนะตอน
This
นี้
is risky.
He's playing on the wide angle. Tucks back in for a moment, cycling that smoke. Sets up for the one-way. Jit Boys goes up over the top. Do they expect this though? Net on main, catches a glimpse, and Cruz catches a stray.
Wow.
What a shot from Monyet.
Who's next?
Now the Armageddon, the red carpet laid out for him. Oh, blind connecting, exiting on that dimensional drift. Premi able to find one. Spike over at Switch. Crazy guy on the spray. Just a hair too late to be able to find the punish. They manage to get into position as they try to go for the plant. The salvo's now going to be sent out right at his feet. They interrupt. 15 seconds remaining. No further interruptions to be found here. Spike just down underneath held the swing in. Kahlua finding one. Jim can put down the Premi on the trade. Cushy the off. The peak. Kahlua dead. The drop down. And die. It's just a little bit too late. Xparrow on the cross angle will be the finisher. Will get the defuse. And 13-5 will be the score line as RRQ.
จริงๆครับไนท์ไทยทำไมเราชีเป็นทีมไหนทีมนั้นแพ้ทุกทีเลยวะ
Their ascent is so beautiful to watch. They are so well drilled here. They just make great decisions.
โอเควันนี้ก็ประมาณนี้แล้วกันนะครับ GG เวลเพย์ไนท์ไทยครับไว้เจอกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้านะครับก็ขอบคุณที่เข้ามาดูนะครับไว้เจอกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้าสำหรับ Watch Party นะครับเดี๋ยวกลับมาเหมือนเดิมน่าจะเวลาเดิมด้วยหรือมั้งเดี๋ยวขอดูก่อนว่าอยากดูแมตช์ไหนนะครับส่วนตัวผมไปก่อนแล้วครับบ๊ายบายครับทุกคนนี่เราตกใส่หัวใครใช่ไหมครับไวหน่อยแต่ไปแล้วบ๊ายบายครับเดี๋ยววันนี้ผมน่าจะมีเล่นรีโปอีกกับตี้เซไกเดี๋ยวดูก่อนว่าไหวไหมถ้าไหวเดี๋ยวไปจอยครับโอเคงั้นผมไปแล้วบ๊ายบายครับ